From Austin, he's been there following this story. Good morning, Jim Ryan.
Morning. Yes, different story today. A community that's letting its guard down perhaps just a bit after what was heard yesterday in a 25-minute, essentially a confession that Mark Condit left on his phone. The police have not released that video or that audio to the public, but they do say that in that confession, he did talk about 7 specific bombs that he had built. We know that those all have been accounted for. The police know where each of them was used. The last one, of course, used when Mark Condit blew himself up. So the expectation, the thinking, and the hope certainly is that there are no others out there that have been deployed and that still pose a danger, McGraw.
Yeah, yesterday there was some confusion over whether or not he detonated the last bomb on his own. Is that now confirmed he did it to himself?
Well, yes, that's what the police are saying, is they were moving in. The tactic they used to get him to pull over in his car was to slam into it with a police vehicle. It hit it pretty hard, but the explosion apparently did not come until after that happened. As police were walking up toward that vehicle, SWAT team members approaching what they knew was a very dangerous situation. This explosion happened inside Mark Condit's SUV, and he was killed. So I think that's the thing, is that he triggered the device himself. It wasn't necessarily set off by the collision.
Jim, I got to tell you, it's amazing they found this guy at all. How did they do it?
A lot of legwork and a lot of traditional police investigative work. The package that was found down in San Antonio, they knew where that package had come from, the one that blew up in the FedEx facility down there and injured a person. It had been dropped into a FedEx office here in Austin, dropped off with an employee. It wasn't a self-service place. A person walked in. You can see surveillance pictures of that person wearing kind of a wig and a hat and gloves, dropping these 2 packages off under the name Kelly Kilmore. That's so, using that surveillance video, those images, the police were able to see not only the suspect, but also his vehicle outside. They saw it driving away. It actually had a license plate. So from that, they were able to figure out who their suspect was. They figured out his telephone fingerprint, his cell phone fingerprint. As soon as that cell phone was turned on again, agents raced to where that was. It was up in the community of Round Rock. They found the vehicle. They waited. Mark Condit got into that vehicle and started to drive away. That's when they decided it had to be stopped so that he couldn't escape.
Yeah. What do we know about this Mark Condit? Anything?
Well, he attended some community college classes a few years ago, didn't graduate. I think he had a couple of years under his belt, business administration. Was homeschooled before that, has kind of bumped around some various jobs, had been unemployed for several months, though. And that's essentially it. I mean, he doesn't have a really strong or widespread internet fingerprint across social media. He does have some blog posts that he made during his time at college, but nothing really to point to why he was so bent on hurting people.
Yeah, I suspect a giant sigh of relief in Austin over the last 12 hours or so.
Yeah, absolutely. I think people here finally are able to. And the one thing I've noticed, McGraw, since I've been here the last week and a half, something, almost always you hear sirens. You were hearing sirens going as the bomb squad was running around answering these calls of suspicious packages. People have been told to do that. If they see something weird, call the cops, call 911. Don't hesitate. And I think the reflection was in the sound that you heard, just constant sirens. Haven't heard that in the last 12 hours or so.
Jim Ryan, good stuff. Safe travels. Thanks for checking in.